All right. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kahak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right. The title of this video is The Next Phase is the U.S. Government Becoming Draconian. Okay. And we're going to go into what that word draconian means. All right. And how the United States government is starting to, tap into that spirit. All right. Because that's what we're seeing, the transition with the U.S. government, a draconian law. And you hear the elders and the apostles mention this all the time. OK, basically, it's going to turn into a full blown dictator, tyrannical government where if you disagree with any policy, OK, they're liable to shut you off out of the system to where you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't trade. Right. You're basically cut off. You're excommunicated, or they'll just flat out put you to death, man. All right. This is why you see, Donald Trump. OK, and Donald Trump is just he's just a puppet. All right. This is really the global elite banking families that's making these things happen. But I'm just using Donald Trump as an example because that's who people see right now. But you see Donald Trump. He's throwing out more death penalty sentences. If you're noticing, right? If you notice, Donald Trump is starting to talk more about the death penalty. This guy, they do this, death penalty. Anybody who goes against law enforcement, death penalty. That guy who stabbed that woman on the train, death penalty. All right. It's all what's the word? Conditioning, right? They're conditioning you to accept a government that is more harsh in regards to the regulations. OK, so without further ado, let's just get straight into it. All right. So I looked up on Google. I put draconian law meaning. OK, it says draconian describes laws or rules that are excessively harsh, severe and repressive. All right. And that's where the U.S. government is heading. OK, and right now, if your spiritual eyes are open, they're using the narrative of the left versus the right, the Democrat versus the Republican. OK, and they're using that to justify the new policies that they want to pass. OK, you got the Republicans blaming it on the Democrats. You got the Democrats blaming it on the Republicans. OK, this is all a clever tactic. All right, to justify more law and order. All right. You see what they're doing. They're sending the military all over the United States, and they're not stopping, man. OK, they're not stopping. All right. The government is still shut down. And I seen a post today about 4,000 federal workers have just been fired because of the government shutdown. All right. So, things are headed for the worst possible scenario here, man. OK. And pretty soon the average American is going to say, fuck this. This isn't right. This is infringing on my law, on my rights. You know what I mean? And they're going to go buck wild in these streets. And that's going to be the perfect justification to bring in draconian measures. All right. It says the term comes from Draco, an ancient Athenian lawmaker from the 7th century BCE, whose laws were notorious for prescribing the death penalty for nearly all offenses, including minor ones. All right. This is where it's heading, man. Especially when they come out with that technology, that micro CHIP, which is the mark of the beast. Especially when they come out with that, man. OK, they're going to really present that as get down with this or die. Those are your only options. You either get down with this or die, or we going to hunt you down. You see, it's going to get to that point, man. Okay. All of those who don't want to, include themselves into the beast system. Well, you're going to be an enemy of the U.S. government, and they're gonna go on a manhunt and hunt you down, man. All right. Okay. So this is why we say count the cost. All right. Understand, why you're even in this truth. You got a lot of jakes that are in this truth and don't even understand what the ultimate mission is, man. The ultimate mission is to endure all the way into the end and keep the faith, man. All right. It's not to do a pizza party at a fucking banquet hall, or, you got the IUIC doing yacht parties, trying to make this shit sound like it's, like it's another day at Dave and Buster's or something, man. It's getting ready to be deadly serious out here, man. Okay. You're about to be an enemy of the goddamn U.S. government, man. All right. And they're going to pull out all of the stops, all of the drones, all of the surveillance cameras to try to hunt you down, man. All right. And they're going to be trying to put you to death too. All right. If they find out that you're not really trying to get down with the beast system, well, the manhunts, all right, are going to be predicated off of if they see you execute on sight. You know what I mean? You ain't even going to get a chance to go to trial. All right. You see him, you kill this man on sight. This is an enemy of the state. This is a domestic terrorist. Okay. And you see them doing these type of things. They're already painting the narrative about free speech. All right. People that are speaking up against the tyranny that's already happening. Okay. Everything is falling right into place. It says the adjective is now used to describe any strict or cruel measure, even if it's not a literal law. All right. Now, let's go to Chat GPT, because what I put in Chat GPT, all right, is going to pull it all together. Matter of fact, first things first, let's get a scripture real quick. All right. Let's get a scripture. Let's get this real quick. This is Revelation 13:11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. OK, and that's dealing with the left and right paradigm. All right, because you had that going on in the Roman Empire as well. OK, where you had two political opposing sides. Right. That made it seem like they had two different objectives, but they were all playing for the same beast, the Democrats and the Republicans. See, since the beginning of America, they've always painted this narrative about this Democrat and Republican bullshit about how these two parties are at odds with each other. OK, but really, they're on the same team, man. All right. They're working the same deceptive. They're waving the same deceptive Harry Potter wand. OK, to hypnotize people into a goddamn civil unrest. All right. This is why you see people that are at these Democrat rallies or at these Republican rallies. They're fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? What is there to fight about? These niggas is out here fighting to the death, beating each other up in the streets. You goddamn liberal, you fucking Republican. Donald Trump's a menace. And they throw blows at each other in the street. OK, because they're being enchanted by this two horns as a lamb paradigm, right? This two horns as a lamb witchcraft, man, which is the left versus the right. OK, and the reason why it says lamb is because both parties make it seem like, they have your best interest in mind. All right. The Republicans make it seem like we know what's best for America, which is law and order. And then the Democrats is saying, well, no, we know what's best for America, which is free speech and being independent. Right. And they both paint it as if, everything is innocent, like they're genuinely concerned about the people's well-being. That's why it says a lamb, because a lamb is an innocent. It's an innocent creature. OK, that's why Yahushua is referred to as the lamb. All right, which symbolizes innocence. OK, so they speak as a lamb. They speak as though uh, they have your best interests at heart. But it says, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. You see, it seems innocent on the surface, but they speak as a dragon. Okay, and what does that rhyme with? What does that, what does that remind you of? It reminds you of the draconian laws. Draco, dragon, right? Two words that are similar to each other. Okay, speaking as a dragon, all right, is ultimately, coming down with harsh and severe regulations, just like the draconian laws and regulations that I just read, man. Okay, it represents deceit. It represents tyranny, man. So they're speaking. They come as a lamb, right? They come as a lamb. They look innocent. The U.S. government makes it seem like everything is innocent. It's not that big of a deal, but they speak as a dragon. Okay, if you're paying attention, this is why the scriptures talk about their words are smoother than butter. Okay, in his roughly paraphrasing, his tongue is drawn swords. Okay, they have clever words to disguise their primary objective, which is to put everybody into a universal basic income digital slavery, to where they want to merge technology with your human physiology. Okay, they want to merge that together. All right, so that way they'll have full control of your motor functions. Okay, and some technocrat can be 45 miles away from you, and the nigga could press a button, okay, and you wake up from your sleep. All right, the nigga could press a button, all right, and you grab a gun, you grab the gun off the kitchen table and blow your own head off, man. They want to have that type of control over the human body, man. Okay, this is their plan, but they disguise it with innocency. They disguise it with them having genuine interest for your well-being, okay, for the common American. But they're speaking as a dragon, man. It's all deceit. All right, let's go to ChatGPT. I put in ChatGPT, I said how to know when a government is becoming more draconian. All right, and check this out, because what I'm about to read, all right, is proof that America is transitioning into a draconian, harsh, legislative, law and order society, man. All right, check this out. It says political power and democracy, centralization of power. Decision making increasingly moves into the hands of one person or a small elite. Okay, and what you see the Republicans doing, they're canceling out the Democratic Party. All right, when you read, and it's on Wikipedia. All right, when you get a chance, check out Project 2025, man. All right, and it tells you how. Matter of fact, let's just get it. All right, let's just get that Project 2025, because it tells you how the Republicans in this year are going to do everything they can to dismantle the Democratic Party. Right. This is why you got Donald Trump getting rid of the DEI, inclusion. You know what I mean? Pretty much ripping the ground up and, creating a new environment and new laws that are being passed into Congress. Right. Because they want to, centralize all of the power to themselves, man. All right. They want to cancel out the middleman. OK. These are the things that's happening right now. Check this out. The project's policy. This is Project 2025 on the Wikipedia. The project's policy document mandate for leadership calls for the replacement of merit-based federal civil service workers by people loyal to the next conservative president. All right. So this is a part of the reason why the government shut down, because the government shutting down. This is a chance for all of the DEI worker, all of the DEI federal workers, all of the Democratic federal workers, all of those who came in under the last administration, under the last Democratic Joe Biden administration. They're getting them the fuck out of there, man. Okay, they're getting them out of there. And the only people that are going to remain are people who are loyal to the cause, man. Okay. It says, and for taking partisan control of key government agencies, including the Department of Justice. And remember, they just transformed the Department of Justice to what? The Department of War. Okay, that should let you know where the mentality of the U.S. government is at this point, man. They changed it from the DOJ, okay, to the Department of War now. You see, they're canceling out everything that people have been accustomed to. They're rearranging it or just cutting it off completely, man, because they're getting ready to centralize all of the power to a small group of technocrats, right? This is why Elon Musk, all right, and all of these technocrats got on board as soon as Donald Trump hit the office, man. Okay, because the technocrats are going to be the ones that are going to be in control of the U.S. society. All right. From a physical standpoint, we already know that the elite banking families, they really control the whole world. They control the U.S. government. OK, but the technocrats are going to be the ones that are going to be pulling the strings. All right. From a physical standpoint. OK, it says the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Commerce, and the Federal Trade Commission. And you could check out all of this because these are all, what can I say, departments that the U.S. government is switching around, man. All right, because they're centralizing all of the power to themselves. You see, okay. Let me see something. Removing legal protections against anti-LGBT discrimination and ending diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's the DEI. Okay, you already see them moving on that. And this, and mind you, this Project 2025, this information has been on, hang on. This information has been accessible to the public on Wikipedia before the year 2025, right? So they were already telling you what they were going to do as soon as Donald Trump got in office, man. All right. Okay. It says, while having the DOJ prosecute anti-white racism, okay, the project recommends the arrest, detention, and mass deportation of illegal immigrants. You see that? And deploying the U.S. Armed Forces for domestic law enforcement. Everything that this is saying is happening right in front of us, man. Okay, and these are all measures of a draconian society. They're transforming this into a draconian society here, man. All right. Okay. I'm trying to get a particular let's see. It was something I really wanted to get. Hang on. Okay. But it's somewhere in here where it talks about all power is going to go to the president, is going to go to pretty much the, those who are getting ready to take control of the government, right? Okay, no more of these alternative programs, no more of these different political sides that disagree with the agenda at hand. Okay, it's no more of that. All right, they're canceling out everybody that is not down for the with the objective, man, with the New World Order objective. Okay. All right. Let me see. But okay. Here we go. It says Project 2025 is based on a controversial interpretation of unitary executive theory, according to which the executive branch is under the president's complete control. You see, all decisions, all executive decisions. Okay, they're trying to give that to the president. No more Congress, no more voting things in, no more people with different opinions. It'll just be one dictator sitting on the throne, calling shots, putting people to death who disagree. You see? So when we go back to this, okay, it tells you all of this, man. All right, let's keep reading. 3, manipulation of elections. All right. And you see that happening. Okay, out here in California, it's a commercial that pops up every day I see, where I guess it's some goddamn lawmakers in California that are, pretty much saying, oh, we got to stop Donald Trump because he's trying to rig the 2026 elections. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you goddamn right. The U.S. government is manipulating electoral votes and shit like that, man. How you think they set up these presidents, man? You think your vote matters? Your vote don't matter. They already figured out who gonna be the next who and who gonna sit on the throne next. Okay? All right? They just want to give you people the illusion that your opinion matters. Okay? It says, let's say, decline in transparency, government actions become secretive, data and documents are harder to access. Lying to your ass. They lying to you right on television, man. Not telling you the truth, you see? Censorship and propaganda, suppression of critical journalism, online speech or dissenting voices, promotion of state-approved narratives. All right, canceling free speech. Okay. Surveillance expansion, increased monitoring of citizens' communications, social media or movements under vague security justifications. Right. Well, the U.S. government, okay, they just signed a deal with Palantir. All right. Palantir is a high-tech surveillance company. Okay. And just funded them niggas billions of dollars. All right. To upgrade their surveillance in America, to turn this place into, what we see out there in China, give people a social credit score system, all right? Track people's movements even more, okay? These are all clues of a draconian society to come, all right? Law enforcement, harsher policing and punishment, use of excessive force, longer prison sentences, or erosion of fair trial rights. And why you think they got the National Guard out here now? And what are the National Guard starting to do? They're starting to get more aggressive. The ICE agents are getting more aggressive. They're punching on people now. Because remember, at first, it started where it was just like simple little arrests. Okay? Stuff them in the back seat. All right? Put the handcuffs on them. Right? Simple arrest. Now, what do you see on the internet? And it hasn't even been a full year. What do you see on the internet? Now the ICE agents are slamming niggas on the ground, socking niggas in their head, shooting paintball guns at them, right? Shooting them in the head with paintball guns, man. All right? Militarization of domestic security. Soldiers or military grade equipment used against civilians. All right? You see? Let's see. Cultural and psychological signs. Normalization of fear. People begin self-censoring, avoiding political talk, or distrusting neighbors. You see this? So you can go ahead and check this out, man. If you go on ChatGPT and just put how to know when a government is becoming more draconian, you can go check this out for yourself, man. I don't want to read it all. All right. But I just read a couple bullet points to prove my point, man. All right. How this society is turning into, something dreadful, man. OK, to where it's going to be, the government is going to be your worst enemy. The government is what you're going to be afraid of. You know, you ain't gonna be afraid no more of Pookie and Ray Ray. You ain't gonna be afraid of them, you know, them bugged out niggas that like to hang out on the street corners and you know, the gangbangers. You ain't gonna be afraid of that no more. All right. You gonna be afraid of the U.S. government. All right. If they get their hands on you, all right, it's a chance that you might end up with a bullet in your head right at that moment, man. Okay. So let's go back to another scripture. This is Revelation 12 and 17. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. Okay, the dragon represented the Roman Empire, but America is the new is the rebirth of the Roman Empire, man. Okay, so the America can be referred to as a dragon as well. Okay, the woman is dealing with the Israelites. Okay, the Israelites. All right. And what do you see right now? You see the Edomites, which represent the dragon, okay, coming down with wrath upon the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites, man. The dragon is wroth with the woman, man, okay? This is why a draconian society is getting ready to be the new standard, okay? Because the dragon is wroth, all right? Revelation 12 and 12, all right? The devil is coming down with great wrath, man. All right. And he's targeting that wrath towards you Israelites. OK, it says, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, the Department of War. OK, basically, the U.S. government has pretty much declared war on anybody that's outside of the program, man. That's pretty much what they did. Pete Hegseth said we have to fight the war within. What does that sound like to you, man? That sounds like they're getting ready to go to war with American citizens that don't want to play ball. Okay, that's what that means. The dragon is going to war. Okay, internally at this point. It says, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach. Yeah, especially if you believe in the Lord, especially if you believe in Yahweh Yahushua, man. They're definitely going to come after you. Okay, you're public enemy number one. All right. You're on a high priority list, man. Okay. You're according to the U.S. government, you're a domestic terrorist. You see, things is about to get tricky. All right. Things is about to get tricky, and a new world is getting ready to be established. Okay. A new world is getting ready to be established. All of these spirits rousing up. Hey, pretty soon it's going to pop, man. Pretty soon it's going to pop, and shit is going to turn into Mad Max. Shit is going to turn into The Purge, man. All right? Because you can only push the average person so much until they finally revolt and say enough is enough. And people are going to really start revolting when a lot of these programs get cut, when certain, liberties that people are used to get cut. You know what I'm saying? No more food in the stores. You know what I'm saying? No more doing this. No more putting gas in your car. You know, people are going to be frustrated out here, man. Ready to risk it all. All right. And they're going to come with the solution. The solution is going to be the mark of the BEAST, which is the micro tech that they want to put inside of you, man. All right. Let's get this last scripture right here. Okay, this is First Maccabees. Let's start with we're gonna jump around with this one. Let's see. Let's see. Give me a second. All right, let's jump down to God damn it. Okay. Yeah, so let's jump down to this is First Maccabees 1, and we're gonna start at verse 30. Okay. It says, and he spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. Okay. And that's how the U.S. government, that's how Esau is getting at the people. Peaceable words, because, look, they're making it seem like, okay, look, all of this violence going on. We got to put a stop to this. Send the National Guard out there. You know what I mean? Do this, do that. So we can stop this violence. We can make America great again. Okay. But it was all deceit. Okay. It was all a part of a sinister plan to lock people inside of their homes, man. All right. To restrict movement. Okay. To take away people's civil liberties, man. All right. It says, for when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. All right. And that's how it's going to come. Because, this is dealing with Antiochus, right? Okay. Which was a demon that came under the umbrella of Alexander the Great. Okay. And he set his target on Jerusalem, which where the Israelites were. He set his target on Jerusalem to take over. OK, and it tells you how he fell suddenly upon the city. OK, so pretty soon Esau is going to suddenly make a move, man. All right. Suddenly. All right. Jacob's trouble. It says, and when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. You see? Let's see. All right. First Maccabees 1:39. It says, her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning. Her Sabbaths into reproach. Her honor into contempt. This is all gonna happen, man, when the draconian society is fully established, man. A lot of people are gonna die, man, who don't want to get with the program. Verse 41, it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Okay, so they were trying to establish a one world government back then. All should be one people. Everybody should think the same. Everybody should have the same belief. Nobody should be outside of the programming. Okay? Right? Forsake everything you believe in and believe in this. Believe in this micro technology. Believe in our technological advancements. Right? Believe in our laws and what we say is right. Okay? It says, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. All right. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Okay. For the king has sent letters by the messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. Okay. And the draconian measures that they want to establish, that the U.S. government wants to establish, is going to be strange. Is going to be considered strange laws because it's outside of what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, okay, is going to establish. It's anti-Messiah activity, man. Okay, so Esau's going for it again, just like how he did back in the day with this. He tried this in the Roman Empire as well. All right. Every time Esau sits on the throne, he tries his hand at world domination, okay, to make everybody one people, all right, and they figured out a way this time to force everybody to be one people by trying to merge you with technology. If they could get that technology in you, okay, you've pretty much lost yourself. You'll be like in the sunken place when you watch that movie Get Out. Remember that Jake fell into the sunken place, and them demons, they told him that, look, you'll still be in your body, but you'll be watching yourself as like a TV. You won't have any control of your body. You know what I mean? We'll have control of you. This is what Esau is trying to establish. Okay. So Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Shalom, shalom.